And today is our guest is Hugi, and I can't wait to discuss this topic specifically with you as I've been so inspired by your journey. But before we start, I want to welcome you into our community, WPW.Network, and I want to announce a little bit just what is happening in our group. And it's going to be incredible month, May of 2025. So, May 7th, we're going to have a webinar, Hack Your Hormones, and we're going to talk specifically about dopamine and how can you hack those hormones and create focus and achieve what you want and heal your nervous system. So we're going to have a Mother's Day breakfast on May 8th. It's going to be in Thursday. May 10th, we have gratitude walk with Vida. I think that's the date. If I'm mistaken, Vida going to correct me. Then May 22nd, we have business networking here in Boca Raton, and I'm going to include links for that networking event under this video. May 30th, we have Mental Wellness Summit in Coral Springs, and June 5th, 6th, 7th, Visionary Summit in Fort Lauderdale. All the details you're going to be able to find under the description of this video. If you're watching us on YouTube as a recording and you're not able to attend or you missed those dates, please join our group and stay connected to everything that is happening and moving forward. And if you're not in Florida, at least join us online. You're going to receive a lot of value and a lot of connection and expand your knowledge in so many different directions. So the vision for our group is to educate, to connect, and to help each and every one of you to grow, to heal, and to build your businesses. So today specifically, we're going to talk about real estate, as I absolutely love the industry. I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and we're going to talk about mindset, personal development, healing, and expansion. So okay, I'm so sorry. We have two people in waiting room. I'm going to admit them. All right, so ladies, welcome. Okay, and today our guest, Hugi. We know each other for about 6 to 7 years. So we first met in gratitude training. It's a personal development training where Tony Robbins started basically from that type of training. And from that space, we developed very, very clean, very honest, very deep relationship and been connected since then in many different spaces. So Hugi was able to retire at 38. Oh my God, from physical therapy, the career she absolutely loved, but also she saw that she wanted more time, more freedom. She wanted to have a family. And now she is seasoned real estate investor with a huge portfolio and a teacher, educator, coach, and soon become a mom.
Hey.
Everything is blending, everything is happening, and I absolutely believe every woman can have everything. And this is what we're going to talk about. Hugi, all for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And honestly, I absolutely want to start off by thank you for this opportunity. And I love what you're creating and the vision and where you're heading. We had a conversation about what your goals and what your vision is. And I think women rule the world. We are absolutely capable of handling so much. And we do it with such flow and we're good. We're great negotiators. We're great at multitasking. We're visionaries. We're creators by nature, and so thank you for holding the space for us women. And I think growing up, we hear this or have a misconception of out competing each other, and the beauty behind learning and maturing is to be able to collaborate, right? Like we all rise together. It's so beautiful. So again, thank you for the opportunity to connect. And definitely personal development was the space that kind of changed things for me. I've, been a little, I don't want to say shy, but I've been reserved. I've been very, focused and motivation has never been an issue for me. But I did start off real estate about 12 years ago. I got my doctorates in physical therapy when I was 25, and then I started working at the hospital, multiple settings. I was very discipline. I knew I needed to get out of my student loans that I had accumulated over time. And so, if you guys haven't heard of Robert Kiyosaki, I think he's basically like the goat of real estate and how, people come across his books and it's life changing. It really is. And just over time, I had heard of Warren Buffett and all these wealthy people who have invested in real estate in some shape or form. And so I figured, the 9 to 5 was not going to cut it. I always knew I wanted to have a family. And so I did what I could at the time. So I started off working 6 days a week, couple jobs. I got rid of my student loans within probably 3 years of working. And I started still setting a fund aside to buy my first home. I was raised in a single parent home with my mom and sister. And we lived in condos, and so it was always a dream to have a home, a single family home. And so that's how I started. And yeah, from there, I just started investing the only way I knew how, which is save 20-25% and finance the rest. So I built a few of my portfolio that way at the first, maybe for the first 4 or 5 homes. Then I got into multifamily, residential multifamily. And then 3 years ago, actually, we went to the Grant Cardone event together with Alex.
Yes, yes, I
And
remember this moment.
we attended for the 3 years. Alex took on the Grant Cardone. I didn't, but I saw him skyrocket, right? Like in that
Hmm.
commercial real estate space. And I'm obsessed with real estate. I always have been. And so I came across the deal, in Port Pierce that I found, and I pitched it to him. And so I pitched it to him. He underwrote it, and we basically got under contract. It was my first as a general partner for 280 plus doors. So basically,
Amazing.
that's me in a nutshell. I know I want to leave time for questions and stuff, but just a little overview of me and who I am. Um, and I do want to also encourage or motivate for anyone who is an immigrant. And that's also a background of mine. I came at the age of 4 from Nicaragua. So yeah, I migrated here with my family, and so it hasn't always been beautiful from the very beginning. So it's something I've definitely worked hard for, and I'm very proud of it.
Hmm.
Mhm,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And what I wanted to highlight, so you started about you start talking about how did you invest first, and you mentioned that I did what I knew back then.
mhm,
And I wanted to highlight the power of networking and power of education
mhm,
and power of exposing yourself into communities.
mhm,
And this is why one of the reasons why I created this group is for exposure of each member, so each member can find something that they need, right? So because we have so many different talents, we have so much knowledge in
mhm,
between all of us, and you as a member can benefit from by connecting to one woman or another, or simply
mhm,
being inspired by what's possible, right?
mhm.
um so, like you, going to be inspired right now by all the mothers out there, how to raise your little baby and to, create a
Yes.
prosperous family, and someone
Mhm,
going to be inspired by you, how to create an amazing portfolio and, create a business that you can run from anywhere. Um, Tell me a little bit, please, about where you are at this moment. So you're retired, you are free right now. What are you doing? What are you building? And I wanted to talk about Alex and what's the you building together, as I also, connected to him as well. And it's very inspiring what is happening.
mhm. Yeah, we have a lot of great things coming up. But in general, so once I retired, I left my job in 2 years ago in May, and immediately after I started, I'm very private in my personal life, and I decided that I needed to stop because I want to do big things before I leave this earth, right? And so I made it a point. I made my all my social media public, And I started promoting like a lot of, not that they didn't know that I was in real estate, but I worked so hard in silence for so long because it's hard when, especially like working in the hospital and like, to get to my doctorate level and have the criticism of people, you're going to do real estate. Like it had like a negative connotation, and that had identified as that at the time. And so I'm like, you know what? I already have my own doubts in my mind. Just kind of want to block people's noise and just focus. But what I know now that I wish I would have done and been more proactive is just found a community that is accepting, because I would have scaled a lot quicker and faster, right? Like people that are already doing it. And so I didn't do a lot of networking, and so I did learn a lot. I started promoting coaching for the first year, and I did very well with one-to-one coaching, basically teaching any level of because I did a lot of residential. I did flips, wholesale, buy and hold. I did short-term rental, so I gained the knowledge throughout the time. And so then I got into commercial real estate. So I basically could walk anybody through the whole process. And so I did that. I had a few students, and then last summer I decided to put an end to it because I want to do more group. I want to get on stages. I want to speak. That is where I want to head to, because I do want to inspire people. And I think a lot of times we have this need, like, and I see it in my family, like, the need to have a job and like the stability, and we're built to just do what we're told, right? Like how I went to school and got the job, got the education, but that there is something more, that everybody, we're all gifted with something, right? It could be
Mhm.
marketing, it could be real estate. And so it's for people to hone in on that and live life with purpose, right? And passion, and like the gratitude I feel when I see someone like pursue whatever it is that they're after is the biggest reward I can get. I don't care
Yeah.
about the money. I don't, and it's just so rewarding for me to see someone live a fulfilling life. And let's cut it, like the inflation, how things are going, these jobs are not going to cut it, and so it's my mission to really inspire people to, even if it's someone that's been renting for so long and they don't know how to get into real estate, it's like, okay, I'll teach you how to house hack. Let's get you your first home. Let's use these guidelines that are available to house hack with an FHA loan with just 3.5%. And some people don't even have the basic knowledge to even know that they can. And so let's fix
Yeah.
your credit. And so it's teaching people budgeting and all that, but I do want to do it more in a group scale. So with Alex, what we're doing, he's like for those that don't know him, his name is Alex Lovely. He is such a beautiful human being in general. I've worked with him now 3 years solid, with being a general partner with him, and the way he navigates, like the integrity is there, the way he problem solves. Because let's cut it, like there's always issues when it comes to real estate, but that goes for any career of your choice, right? Even when I was a therapist, we had issues with productivity and guideline changes and Medicare and this and that, and so um it's been fun doing business with him in that sense. So we have an online community, and we do syndications basically, and so we teach people how to syndicate. And for those that don't know what syndication means, you're basically you're having your limited partners, which are passive investors that may have funds. It could be from anywhere, like for 401k, maybe an inheritance, maybe equity from their home that they sold, and you give them an opportunity to be part of a huge asset, right? That they would otherwise not be able to do on their own. And so this year we've made it a mission to get into one of these huge institutional properties, about $75 million worth. And so we have an accelerator program where we're collecting the funds, and then we're going to close on one of these deals. Because if you follow the market right now with real estate, this is going to be one of those cycles where there's going to be a lot of wealth transfer, right?
Hmm.
Commercial real estate is totally different. Their financing, it's not like residential where it's 30 years, right? They're a lot shorter term. It could be 3, 5, 7 years, 10 years, whatever the case. And some of these loans are maturing into higher interest rates, right? And so when they're coming out to refinance, their numbers are not adding up. And so there's going to be opportunities to buy very deeply discounted. And so we've looked at some deals already, like people are offering tens of millions of dollars discounted because they need out and they'd rather, have a loss than bankruptcy, right? And so, it's a good time to really start learning and educating yourself and position yourself in these opportunities that really don't come often, right? Like I think the regular human 75, 80-year-old lifespan, you may have 3 or 4 cycles that you have opportunities to really, really make wealth through real estate. So I hope I
Yeah,
answered your
yeah.
question.
Well, thank you. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. As being a realtor and working in the industry for so long, I've seen those opportunities come. They don't come often, and now is absolutely the time to pay attention to work on the cash flow and really to expose it and educate yourself on where can you invest and how can you grow. We will include all the links and on the description of the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see those links on how to find Hugi, how to find the groups. And if you're watching us live, I'm going to send email with all the information, and you're going to be able to connect, and talk about real estate more after the call. So Hugi, let's talk about my favorite part. How is all possible is mindset. So
100%.
yeah, so I truly believe you know me for so long that there is nothing happening until you calm your nervous system down, you heal yourself, and you break through your limited beliefs, and you create unstoppable mindset that's going to benefit your long-term goals. It takes work, right? So share with us your journey of where you started, where you've been, and where you are today. So your challenges, your breakthroughs, and your lessons.
Okay, yeah. So mindset is everything, guys. Like at the end of the day, you could want something so bad, and there's a difference between being interested in something and really being committed to something. And so there, in one, it's a decision you make. I don't want this lifestyle anymore, and I'm gonna go after whatever it is, no matter what, right? And God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will through these trials to see whether this is really the path you want to take. And so there's so many books on that. 3 Feet from Gold is a perfect, I don't know if you guys have heard of that story, but definitely look it up. It's very inspiring. And it's just a reminder that every day you need to make, even if it's just 1% progress towards whatever it is that you're after, right? And it needs to be objective, measurable, and it has to have a deadline, right? So really staying in that power of like believing that you can, because I am not any gifted or special or more important than anybody here, right? I have the same human design as we all do. The only thing that changes, and I like to say this all the time, the biggest real estate you can ever invest in is your mindset. Like our brains are designed and capable of so much. And I don't want to
Mhm.
get into a tangent, but even health, mental health, all that, like to be able to liberate yourself from any suffering through personal development is so important, right? And it all starts with our limiting beliefs, and we all have them, right? And sometimes you're able to work them through, and other times you just have to know that this is part of your design and be okay with it. And okay, I'm having my breakdown or whatever, or my perfection is starting to steer in, and and it's just taking a deep breath and like reminding yourself that you're not any of these things, right? And stay committed to what decisions you've made. So my challenges in the past, oh my gosh, I mean, I feel like I've just grown so much, but like if I were to describe myself, I'm 40 now, but when I was in my 20s, I was shy. I was too afraid to speak up. I felt like judged all the time. And, I let that stop me for so long. Like I just preferred to stay quiet, and very analytical. I don't want to say perfection, but almost. Um, I've always been someone that if I wanted something, I'd go after it. But if it required other people, then I didn't want to bother them or inconvenience them, or I'd feel shy around that. So, insecure, all these things. And then through gratitude, I started reading a lot of books before then. And so I just started to do things that normally I wouldn't do. And so I made it a mission. All right, I'm going to go to the movies by myself. And I don't care what people think of me. It was like my judgment thing that I was so afraid. So I would go sit at a bar by myself. And, these little things that made me uncomfortable. So by the time I went to gratitude, I had names for these things. And I learned about the ego and how savvy it works and how it sabotages you and how it can do it in relationships, in business, in family, in this. And so anyway, I started peeling back all these layers and basically found my voice. I mean, as simple as that sounds, like something as simple as knowing that other people have this voice in their head was enough for me to know, like, oh, I'm not alone. Like everybody has a whispering voice, one that gives doubts and something as some is like shaming me, like, oh my God, I sounded so dumb saying that, or I used the wrong word, or I pronounced it wrong. Like all these little things. And it's like learning to just observe them and not fall into the trap of like, oh my God, I did horrible. Or even if I did
Mhm.
horrible, that I survived it and nothing happened. I'm still alive, right? Um, so definitely my challenges were finding my voice, um, you know, sharing my story. I also grew up in a very strict religion. And so I didn't celebrate a lot of birthdays. And that kind of, I struggled with that during school. And so it was just a lot of these things that made me super shy and reserved. So it's like being an adult, learning how to use my voice, how to empower people, how to share my story. And, so that was a challenge which I overcame. And then now what I'm working on is, like I said, my passion would be to speak on stages.
This is
And
incredible. From from not celebrating your birthday to speaking on the stage.
right, yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like two extremes. And so it's just basically a testament of, what we're all capable of, right? And
Hmm.
it all started with a commitment for myself. Like I knew I worked so hard to build my portfolio of real estate. I retired, whatever. And I knew I wanted to have a family one day. And I didn't know when that was going to happen for me. And I'm not going to lie, I started to get nervous, especially as I was nearing, my late 30s. And so I'm like, well, I know that I'm going to leave my legacy to someone. And so I just focus on what's important for me. And, I try not to get too attached to the outcome, right? I'm not in control, right? That's like the first realization we always have. And so it's just kind of maneuvering through life and like having a community of people. Like now, all my friends that I'm surrounded with, they don't judge me. Even if I did the stupidest or shameful, whatever, they're there to hold and support me and be a soundboard to me. And I'm able to sound back, right? Like versus before, my challenge was, like sometimes being in rooms where like people just gossip and like it's not my space anymore. I don't
Mhm.
entertain it. And so yeah, it's just being empowered by others and knowing where to place my energy around who and what groups and what communities, because communities are out there. There's so many. Like at the end of the day, I think us as humans, we want to help, we want to serve and support others, right? And I think we get brainwashed, especially now with social media. Like there's so much pressure, and it's just a remembrance basically, right? That
Yeah.
we're all here to collaborate and really maximize our potential, because God gifted us all with something, all
Yeah.
of us. We just have to
Yeah.
find it.
It's one of my favorite topics as well is collective evolution and collective consciousness. And I believe truly we are in a moment of time right now is an amazing time in the history of humankind where we are becoming awake of our true potential of who we truly are, and healing is happening, and there's so many people are doing spiritual work, and it's so many people blending businesses and spiritual awakening, and it's all just coming beautiful dance in between
Mhm.
your heart and your mind, and you don't have to choose anymore, you can do it all, right? So that's what I
Right.
love about community that's you created, that I'm part of as well, is where we do discuss real estate. We do have all
Mhm.
this very grounded knowledge and expertise and all these professionals, and at the same time, heart centered and devotion to, real integrity, human connection, God, you name it, right? It's whatever you believe in, universe, God, higher power. So yeah, it's incredible, and absolutely love it. Hugi, tell me, I kind of can already predict the answer, but still, so you 10 years younger, what would you say to yourself? What would you tell yourself 10 years younger? Just close your eyes, imagine the beautiful
Mm.
face of you 30 years old. I'm like using my hypnotic
Ah.
abilities right now. Yes, imagine this beautiful woman that is working as a physical therapist or just starting this career, and she is like stepping into her power just right now. And she doesn't know yet. She's going to retire in 8 years. She's going to have a baby in just a little bit. And she doesn't know it, but she really wants that. So, what would you tell her?
Hmm. I would definitely say to trust the process
Mm-hmm.
and have faith, right? I think that has never deterred me, is having my faith in God, right? I have conversations with him every day, and it's so funny. I think they call it the rainmaker, right? Like those people, and we all know them, like those people that walk and things just happen and open up for them,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And and it's things that situations that sometimes you're like, there's no way that I can miss this, and you loaded your schedule and then things ended up canceling, or it's just weird things and scenarios that happen, or you needed money and because you came across this good deal and someone sent you it's like these synchronicities that happen in life. And so just I think it winds down to like keep going, right? Just keep going. Never had all the answers, it was just an
Mhm.
exploration as I went through the journey.
Mhm.
And so definitely I would thank her for trusting her gut, because I worked very independently and quiet, like in silence for so long. And I never gave
Mhm.
up. And I had a bunch of hurdles. I mean, uh, enough to probably warrant most to be like, it's okay, at least you tried. But I kept going. And so I definitely feel like I would say to myself, like, thank you for trusting yourself, for, standing in your power and always believing, you know.
Okay, beautiful. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Vida has to go. Okay, have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. I absolutely will share information and everything that Hugo is doing. So next question, Hugo, tell me what you want to see for yourself 5 years from now, and what is this powerful, amazing woman that's 45 years old
Mhm.
going to, where she's going to be, what she's going to be doing, and what she's going to enjoy.
So for me, it would be such an absolute honor to be able to influence masses, right? I'm a huge believer in empowering others to go after beyond their 9 to 5. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what they do. I see it even in doctors. Like, I would sit with doctors that are making 800 to 1.5, $2 million a year, right? The financial education that we have, it's a huge problem here, right? Like these people, even at that scale, don't have the funds to retire comfortably, right? Especially if they have it in their 401k and that's what they're relying on, or their social security. It's not a guarantee. We see what's going on with the stock market and just the economy in general. And so you need, for me, I will always pick real estate as the go-to, right? Because it's been my success. But and it's something that's tangible, right? And you can do so many ways of doing real estate. Like you don't have to stick to one route. And then commercial real estate, you can get into lending at that point if you've developed like massive portfolio. But definitely being able to empower people to be able to retire comfortably, right? Like as
Yeah.
our baby boomers are aging, they don't have the resources to be able to retire. And we see that when we go into groceries and, like it's no longer, it's 65 or 67 on paper, but in reality, I mean, we have 75, 80-year-olds working, right? And so
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
huge problem. So it would be to be on stages and be able to be told like by someone like, hey, listen, thank you so much. That what you said to me really got me to start whatever, their journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
wish someone would have done it for me where I would have been, maybe more savvy, like I said, at 25 versus doing it now at this age, which again, and not to it's just a reminder that time is ticking, right? And the urgency of being proactive is now, right? Like we're not guaranteed, right? And so if it's
Yeah.
someone would have probably their message would have struck me at 25, I would have had a lot more, influence at that point and probably
Yeah.
scalability.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I am sure it's happening already. It's already done. And I can't wait to see you on stages and, tell everybody I know this woman.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So we are going to be open for questions now. So please, ladies, if you have any questions, unmute yourself and we welcome your questions. We're going to answer as we have about 15 minutes left before we wrap it up. So if you have any questions, let us know. We are here. And let me see if Rita asked a question. Okay, so she did not include any questions. She just asked for connection. Okay, no problem. So anyone has questions? Mila, do you have any questions?
Hi, thank you. I do have a quick question. I think that commercial real estate is something that's always really um intrigued me just in the real estate realm. Can you just talk a little bit more about how to sort of get more involved, or like if you like sort of like that question when you asked like when you first started, what would you say to yourself, like some advice, like if you knew you wanted to really lean into commercial real estate from the beginning, what sort of steps or things would you really focus on, or how would you route that? Do you have to start in residential? Because I hear that a lot. So yeah, just wanted to get some insight on that. And then also wanted to thank you ladies so much for hosting this. It's been really awesome and I appreciate it.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you loved the presentation today. And in terms of your question, so like I get asked this a lot, and you know, I always like to put it back on the person, right? Like at the end of the day, there is no order on how things should get done, right? Like people will tell you you should do residential first, whatever. And yes, for me, it has been a great stepping stone because I even became a realtor. I don't think I mentioned that, but I did become a realtor. Not that you need to, right? Like you have to decide, like if you know you'd rather go straight to commercial, go to commercial. I wish someone would have told me that, but I was too afraid because for me, again, I didn't have the funds. It was just a whole different animal. But knowing what I know now, there's so much leverage in commercial real estate, and especially the way syndications work, total different game changer, right? And the opportunity to help others, like it could be family, friends, yourself, whatever, to invest their money better, right? Like if you see like your retirement funds, it fluctuates with the stock market, right? Like you could have a portfolio in your stocks for retirement of 100K, the market crashes and then now it's 60, 50, 40, whatever. So what I would say would be find your community, right? Your community that you feel aligned with what you're up to, right? Because once you're in a community, it's a game changer. You can leverage other people's knowledge and experience, right, that are willing and have walked the path that you're trying to go to, right? It's like anything in life. If you want to lose weight, you go to a weight loss, community or a trainer that's going to guide you. Same thing. You either get a mentor. If you're unable to afford one, then you can get into these communities and ask questions. Hey, I need a lender. Hey, does anyone want a partner? I have a great opportunity in South Florida. Hey, what does this mean? Hey, does anybody have an attorney? So definitely a community would be my first stop. And Anastasia, I know we talked about the school community, but we have there's a ton of content on YouTube, whatever. So we have one in our Legends U. It's a multifamily from A to Z. It's very basic, but it gives you the lingo that you need to get started, right? Because you can
Yeah.
syndicate on your own, right? Like we had someone that says that she's a dentist and she wants to syndicate a dentistry. So that's good. You learn the knowledge and you can either do it with us at the $75 million deal, or you can go out there and do it yourself because you'll have the tools and knowledge to go after it. But I would definitely don't let anybody discourage you of how it should look, unless you want to. Like if you want to start residential because you feel safer, um, I would even question that. But it's not, if you do prefer residential, do it, But if you know from the get-go you want to go straight into commercial, go for it. I have friends that I got them in the program and they're grateful and they've not done residential. So,
Yeah, I can say that. I don't know, Mila, your background, but I can say that I don't know, Hugi, if you know, I also had a deal with Alex, and I did not know anything, even though I am a residential realtor. I didn't know anything about syndications at all. And I didn't have any money as well. So I did not have basically anything other than desire and availability and just proactive actions. And that's what it takes. And that's number one step. And after that, doors will be open, answers will be given. You're going to connect to the right people, and our community is more like for networking. But I just see that right now we're going to create little groups of little interest, and we're going to create a lot of beautiful, education here as well. And I will include, Hugi, your links for education, for everything that you are doing already, where you can at least learn and then, grow from there. So I just see the vision where we're going to go there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's important that you decide and then take proactive action, right? Like and make progress towards that. So the first thing would be that like find your group, there's books, there's all these things, but you can get all the information in the world. So again, it's not the information. Sometimes you don't need the information. I didn't know anything about commercial real estate when I got in, but I leveraged my friend and he gave me the opportunity to do the business with him and it's changed me, right? But if I didn't ask, you know, I wouldn't be there. So surround yourself, position yourself in communities. And, in this community we've built, I see people doing partnerships,
Mhm.
and non-commercial partnerships too. Like they're doing a flip on a single family. So be open and really hone in on what it is that you want to do and go after it.
And yeah, also do not let your lack of resources, as you think, stop you. Focus
Right.
on your talents. Focus on what can you bring to the table, right? Maybe you have resources, maybe you have connections, maybe you have knowledge, maybe you're exceptional in tax code. Who knows? But
Right.
leverage your talents in any community, right? Yeah.
Right.
So any more questions? All right. So yeah, we do not have any questions. So I just want to announce one more time what is happening in our community. It's incredible what is happening this month, May 1st, which is already tomorrow.
I know.
So what we're going to have? We're going to have a webinar next week, May 7th, Hack Your Hormones, and we're going to talk about dopamine. And this webinar is going to be especially valuable for those with little kids and with grown kids and without kids. Honestly, we all right now struggling with focus because of what is happening on social media and the amount of the information that's thrown on us. So this webinar is going to be very beneficial for you if you want to calm and heal your nervous system and create unwavering focus and really expand and stay healthy, throughout the day and really go after your goals. So Mother's Day breakfast is going to be May 8th, Thursday, and I'm going to announce the location is probably going to be somewhere in Palm Beach County. Then we have a gratitude walk with Vida, and she's amazing. She creates this walks in United Communities in Tamarack, and I'm going to include the link for that as well. May 22nd, business networking in person, Boca Raton, dedicated to mental wellness and hosted by me in our office in Boca Raton. I absolutely passionate about mental wellness. I think our mindset is everything, and I think our healing is essential for everything we want. So without healing, nothing is possible. So I invite you to come and start those conversations and find right people to help you create the most prosperous and beautiful life you can imagine. May 30th, Mental Wellness Summit, where I'm going to be a speaker speaking about subconscious mind and how can you, what you can do on a regular basis to create unwavering focus again and success in your life and shift your identity into something that you truly want. And June 5th, 6th, 7th, Visionary Summit in Fort Lauderdale. Hugi, you're going to be there as well, right?
Yes, I'm going to be there.
Beautiful.
I will
I'm going to be there too. We're going to be sharing spaces with amazing speakers, amazing influencers. And if you catching this video before June 6th, 7th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and you are in United States, or even if you're in Europe, come fly here. So I'm going to include the link to buy your tickets, and you absolutely have to be there because this summit, this is going to be incredible. It's about creating legacy 360, your mindset, your finances, your how to build your business, your operational system, and basically free yourself from operating your business. There is going to be so many different topics. So I am excited. If you're not part of our group, please join WPW.Network. We can't wait to see you there. If you want to be a speaker, if you want to connect to other women, please join and let me know. Hugi, thank you so much for your time. If there is anything you want to say before we close.
Well, again, I appreciate the opportunity, and I also commend everybody who attended or is listening. And I think this is always like the start, right? Is like being curious about what you're capable of doing and getting out of your comfort zone. And so I hope it inspires you to take action and stay committed to it and find your community that will help you get there, or your mentor.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm looking forward to see everyone on our next call in our community, in live in person, and join us. And I am looking forward to build beautiful, beautiful, prosperous community and be in value to everyone who join. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Okay.